A couple weeks ago, I did an iPad buying guide that went through the differences between the several different models of iPad Apple was now selling. In this video, we're going to look at the current ultra-portable MacBook lineup, which includes the MacBook and the MacBook Air. We'll focus on the MacBook Pros in a separate video. So from the Mac homepage on Apple.com, we can see that there are three MacBook models: MacBook, MacBook Air, and the MacBook Pro. Apple is selling two distinct models of the MacBook Air though, so we're going to be looking at three models in total. Let's check out the Compare tool over here. On this page we can compare all Mac models, not just the MacBooks. For this video, we're just going to focus on these three in the top row. So let's start with the lowest priced model, which is the previous generation 13-inch MacBook Air. If I compare it to the $1199 MacBook Air, we can take a look at the differences. First, the newer MacBook Air has both Touch ID and a Retina display. The lower cost MacBook Air is using 5th generation processors versus the newer model's 8th generation dual-core processor. Newer processors mean better speed and efficiency. Another major difference are the ports. The older MacBook Air has two USB 3 ports and a MagSafe power port. MagSafe is Apple's awesome magnetic power plug that's unfortunately being phased out. The reason it's being phased out is USB-C, which is the only port on the newer MacBook Air. USB-C can handle both power and fast data, so you can plug your power adapter into either of the USB-C ports on a MacBook Air. You only get two of these USB-C ports on the MacBook Air. So if you have it plugged in, you're going to only have one port free for external drives and peripherals. Most peripherals are still using USB 3, which is the rectangular plug that we've been using for a couple decades now. So you'll probably need USB-C adapters or a USB-C hub. I'll have links to a few different options for adapters and hubs below. So between these two MacBook Airs, we have a $200 price difference. For the extra money, you're getting a fairly significant performance boost, as well as Touch ID, and maybe most importantly, a high-resolution Retina display. If you use other devices with a Retina display, whether that's an iPhone, iPad, or another Mac, switching between those and a non-Retina display can be somewhat hard on your eyes. In my opinion, the display is probably the biggest downfall of the older MacBook Air. The biggest plus, other than the price, could be the ports. If you don't have any USB-C devices, but you do have older USB 3 devices, you might prefer not having to deal with getting adapters or a hub. And you still get the MagSafe plug, which will forever be the best power plug on any computer. So now let's bring in the MacBook, which actually starts at an even higher price than the new MacBook Air. The MacBook is the smallest and lightest Mac ever, weighing in at barely over 2 pounds. So what you're paying for here is superior portability. The display is a bit smaller, only 12 inches rather than 13 on the MacBook Air, but it is a Retina display. There's only one USB-C port on the MacBook. So if you want to charge the MacBook and attach peripherals, you're going to need a USB-C hub. The MacBook and the MacBook Air can serve as a main computer for users that are not doing a lot of photo or video editing. If you mostly are web browsing, using email, and maybe creating documents with iWork or Office, any of these ultra-portable Macs will be able to handle those tasks without a problem. For those that need some more power or storage for photos or especially video editing, you'll want to start thinking about a MacBook Pro, which we'll look at in the next buying guide video. Check out the links below this video for discounted MacBooks and MacBook Airs, as well as suggestions for USB-C adapters and hubs. And of course, to learn more about using these or any other Mac or iOS device, Become an All Access member to view all the tutorials available from the macu.com. And if you have any questions, feel free to send an email to info@themacu.com. Thanks for watching.